mean, just look at this. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That's a 53-point margin in an NBA game. This is the kind of scoreline you'd expect to see in a high school game, not at the professional level, and definitely not in an NBA Cup knockout game where every player and coach on the winning side is literally playing for $50,000 each. This was not some meaningless game that Phoenix didn't care about. This was a cash prize, a trip to Vegas, and a real momentum swing for whoever won it. And OKC still walked in like they were completely unbothered. With that win, Oklahoma City moves to 24-1, officially tying the 2016 Golden State Warriors for the best record through the first 25 games of a season. Anytime your name is sitting next to that Warriors team, you've officially entered the all-time conversation. And the crazy part is, the Thunder have done it mainly because of one thing: defense. And it's not pretty good top 5 level defense that most contenders are bragging about. This is a defense that is all-time great and completely strangled the Suns to a point where it didn't even look real. Turnovers are the identity of their defense. They force their opponents into 17.8 giveaways a night, the #1 mark in the NBA. And it isn't dead ball stuff. These are live ball turnovers, the ones that will absolutely kill you. And they're so dangerous because 60% of OKC steals turn into transition plays, which is also #1 in the NBA. And once they start running, you basically have to pray that they're going to miss. They've got some of the best athletes in the league, and with that, some of the best finishers at the basket. So every mistake you make pretty much becomes an automatic 2 points back the other way. It's pressure basketball in its purest form, and Phoenix walked right into a buzzsaw. And this right here is absolutely how not to open a game against the Thunder. Before the scoreboard could even load in, Cason Wallace forces the first turnover of the game, picking Colin Gillespie clean. Wallace is such a smart defender. He literally puts his hand exactly where he knows Gillespie is going to bring the ball across his body, and just like that, it's over. And that one play kind of foreshadowed everything that was about to happen, because from that point on, the Suns could not survive. They ended up turning the ball over 20 times, handing Oklahoma City 34 points off those turnovers, and 14 of the turnovers came directly from steals. And it wasn't like the Suns were being careless or incompetent. This was Oklahoma City imposing their will physically, mentally, and structurally. Caruso had 3 steals, SGA had 2, Wiggins had 2, Wallace had 4, and Chet Holmgren added 3 blocks on top of that. This defense is incredible, and it was obvious that without Devin Booker, Phoenix almost had 0 chance of keeping their turnovers low, or generating the kind of shot quality they would have needed to even stay in the game versus the Thunder. But the real nightmare for teams is what happens next. The Thunder are not just elite at forcing turnovers. They're the second best team in the entire league at not giving the ball away themselves, only turning it over 12.6 times a night. So not only are they burning you alive by creating chaos defensively, they're also refusing to give you any of those opportunities right back. That gives them a massive margin for error in every single game. And no other team in the NBA has this luxury. Even if Oklahoma City has an off shooting night, can't buy a 3, and the offense looks clunky, or they're even missing a bunch of guys, the defense just travels. Everybody on the roster knows the schemes, the rotations, and their exact job. It honestly doesn't matter who's on the floor. Their system just works, and the numbers absolutely back it up. Their defensive rating is sitting at a 104, which is not just #1 in the NBA, it's on a historical trajectory. This defense is the backbone of everything they do, and the foundation behind this 24-1 avalanche to begin the season. But here's where it all comes together, because as dominant as the defense is, none of this works without SGA at the top of the food chain. Shea is once again right at the top of the MVP race. The only player ahead of him right now is Nikola Jokic. And even that gap feels razor thin when you look at just what SGA has been doing on a nightly basis. He's been putting up 32.6 points, 6.5 assists, and 1.5 steals per game on an absurd 69% true shooting. And he's doing all of that while ranking 45th in the NBA for minutes per game at just 33 a night. Luka Doncic is the only guy in the NBA scoring more points per game than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he's playing an extra 4 minutes per game, third in the NBA for minutes per night. Yet, Luka is only scoring an extra 2 points. If we're being honest, the conversation about who is the best scorer in the league right now for me starts and ends with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because this season might genuinely go down as one of the greatest scoring seasons from a guard we've ever seen. And what makes it even crazier is the fact that he's somehow even better than he was a season ago. And it's all because of one massive change to his scoring arsenal. There's one skill that he added that has completely opened up the floor for him and basically allowed him to average 1 point every minute he plays. And that skill is, of course, his deep shooting. It's not just an incremental improvement. It's a full-blown transformation of who he is offensively and how defenses have to attempt to guard him. Last season, Shai was a 37% three-point shooter on 5.7 attempts per game, which was already great for him. It finally gave him a shot that did not drain all of his energy. And most importantly, it was a shot that defenses were okay with giving him because of the fact he wasn't that great at making it. Teams would still go under pretty much every ball screen. They wouldn't meet him at the level. And he could pretty much walk into clean shots anytime he wanted one from outside. And the reason behind that is because teams were so scared about what he's capable of doing in the lane and in the mid-range. And honestly, 37% is a very respectable clip for someone who isn't known as a high-volume three-point shooter. But this season, that shot has turned into a legitimate weapon. He's knocking down, get this, 44% of his threes on 5 attempts per game, which puts him in the 97th percentile for a three-point shooter. That's completely absurd. Now, defenses don't have a choice. They now have to take that shot away from him. And the moment they do, it opens up everything he loves. The mid-range, the paint, and those slow-motion attacks, where he just toys with defenders who are trying to rotate over. You can literally see how teams are being forced to adjust. Take the Mavericks for example here. Max Christie has to pick him up way higher up the floor, and that allows Shai a free invitation to attack Anthony Davis in the lane, where he knocks down the mid-range jumper. The same thing happens again. They're glued to him at the three-point line, and he just blows right on by for an easy mid-range bucket. Teams used to be able to live with these looks from deep, but they just can't anymore. And if you don't pick him up high enough, well, ask Klay Thompson how that goes. Here, he's sitting way too far back, giving SGA the cushion. And Shai doesn't even hesitate, just a casual step-back three right in his grill. Jimmy Butler tried the same thing. And maybe last season he gets away with this, but not this year. Shai rises up and buries another triple like it's nothing. And then you've got clips like this one, where Buddy Hield is literally picking Shai up at half court. But now that SGA is a 44% shooter from deep, he uses that threat to explode downhill. And once he gets ahead of steam, Quentin Grimes has absolutely no chance of stopping him here. That's the nightmare teams are stuck dealing with. Either give up a clean three to a 97th percentile three-point shooter, or let him walk to his favorite spots at the rim or in the mid-range. Another great example is this play where Patrick Beverley has to close so aggressively to the three-point line that SGA literally walks to an open layup. And these are the decisions you have to make now. Defenses genuinely don't have a viable option. Because Shai is so good from three now that if you leave him open for a whole game, or even just give him a cushion, he's going to annihilate you. He's forcing teams into bad decisions over and over again, and he's punishing every single wrong choice you make. Even the pump fake has become impossible to guard. On this play, Toumani Camara bites on the pump fake from deep because you have to, and Shai calmly walks into a 10-foot pull-up jumper. The truth is, this improved three-point shooting is giving him the best mid-range and paint looks of his career, and the efficiency proves it. He's shooting 58% on standard 0-1 6-foot mid-range jumpers, up from 55% a season ago. His short mid-range touch has climbed